What woman inspires you and why?
The two women who were the foundation of everything that I've done, my grandmother and my mother. My mom and my grandmother in Shanghai in the 20s were plunged into poverty. They didn't start in poverty, they were plunged into poverty through the war with Japan, and my grandfather died. And he was a British customs agent, and my grandmother was a feisty and fiery, amazing Cantonese woman. And my mother was mixed race in Shanghai, born in 1922. Probably the worst place to be a mixed race child ever, worst time and place. And they were plunged into poverty when my grandfather died when she was 7. And they had to fend for themselves. And my grandmother had to hold down 4 menial jobs at a time, scrubbing people's laundry, cleaning people's houses, doing whatever she could, eating out of garbage cans, frankly. She sent my mother off to school with the few pennies that she could collect, and did an amazing job. And she and my mother worked so hard. She put my mom through administrative school. My mom became the best administrator for American organizations, British organizations, and ended up, years later, owning 2 mansions in Taiwan. And all of that from having to eat out of garbage cans during the war. And you look at that kind of thing, and people have said, oh, Irene, you've worked so hard and you've done so many tough things and you just run headlong into these risky situations. How did you do that? And I said, compared to what my mom and my grandmother did, I've never had a bad day. It's all about attitude, right? It's like, compared to people in Syria, we don't have bad days in the US. Let me just say that, right? And I think a lot depends on your perspective and attitude. And because that was such an extremely shaping set of stories when I was young, I just run headlong into these business opportunities, and I never see them as issues. I always just see them as opportunities.